few weeks ago, I decided that I would start the journey of making my first ever real Lego mock, which for the uninitiated stands for my own creation. I have built custom Lego creations hundreds of times, but the difference with this build is that I wanted to go in with an actual plan and make it look as perfect as possible. So sit down and buckle up as we go through how I went about building a custom Lego Minecraft cave, and make sure to stick around until the end to see how it turns out. Initially, I had absolutely no idea what direction I wanted to go in with this build, but I knew I wanted to do something, so I decided to start basic and do a Minecraft build, since they are relatively simple to plan out. I will be utilising Cheesy Studios' block accurate style of building, as he basically laid out the blueprint for how good a Minecraft mock can and should look. So a huge shout out to him, his channel is amazing. The very first thing I did was actually design this on Bricklink Studio to get an idea for how many parts I was going to need. I had no plan or reference image, I just made up the layers as I went, but you'll have to wait until the end of the video to see it done. After I completed that, it was time to collect all the pieces. Thankfully, being a Lego Minecraft build, all the pieces were relatively common, so I was able to source around 75% from my own collection. I also had to pinch some pieces from sets like the Skeleton Dungeon. After several small Bricklink orders for the more specialised pieces that I did not have, I assembled quite the collection of Minecraft building materials, and it was time to get building. I wanted to start small, so I decided to make the build across half a chunk, comprised of 4 8x8 base plates. The first thing I did was layer plates directly onto the base plates, followed by a bunch of bricks so I could achieve the desired 5-plate height to ensure that everything was properly to scale. I made sure to include a pool of water in the middle of the build as well, which would be crucial to the look and story of the display. I also included some coal and gravel on the right hand side to add some visual interest, and some dark tan on the left, which would form the start of a dripstone cave. After adding some more gravel, I decided to start tiling the build, making sure to include plenty of jumper plates for mob positioning later on. Over on the left side of the build, I also added some dark tan jumpers to accommodate the dripstone stalagmites, and added some trans blue sloped pieces to form the bottom of a water pillar. I also made sure to incorporate some gold near the dripstone, as well as plenty of masonry bricks for texture, all of which I took from some of my old Ninjago sets. After building up the area a bit more, I started adding in the dripstone stalagmites. I didn't try and reinvent the wheel or anything, I just took Lego's official design and changed the heights a little, but I honestly think Lego's design is very good for what it is trying to accomplish. I'm also glad that I did not have to order any of these 1x1 pyramids, as the Skeleton Dungeon included 8, which was the exact amount I required for this build. After installing all the stalagmites, I continued building up the structure, incorporating some more coal to break up the dark grey on dark grey, all whilst making sure that the build adhered to the strict 5-plate height. After getting the left side to about 7 blocks high, I decided to move over to the other side before continuing, building up the water pillar some more and starting on the base of a stone pillar. The stone pillar was actually the first part of this build that I designed in Bricklink Studio, which was just to ensure that the top half had enough structural integrity. I also threw in some diamonds and some redstone just to add some variety. Next to the redstone, I used a technique crucial to all block accurate Minecraft builds, snot building, which for those new to Lego means studs not on top. One of the huge benefits of building Lego Minecraft block accurate is that 5 plates high is exactly the same width as 2 studs wide, which allows super smooth sideways building, which I'd use later on in this build to great effect. One way to achieve this is by using the 5-plate high 1x2 snot brick introduced in 2016, which is, at the time of writing, exclusive to the brand new Nike Dunk Trickshot set in the colour of dark bluish grey. When I made this build, the set was so new that this piece was not available for purchase in that specific colour on Bricklink, so instead I made a version using the snot plate and some Technic pins, which achieves the same final result at double the size. I continued building up the right hand side, which is admittedly more boring than the left, also incorporating 1 iron ore and some more coal into it. After doing that, I added a Technic beam to the back of the stone pillar for extra support. I don't know if this was really necessary in the end, but you can't see it from the front of the display, so it didn't really matter. After doing most of the repetitive grey structure work, it was time to do my favourite part of the entire build, the upside down hanging stalactites. I had a really fun time trying to work out the techniques here, since this whole cluster of stalactites stems from a singular dripstone pillar. It required multiple snot bricks and a couple of brackets, but I'm very pleased with the final result. The way all the parts came together smoothly in the end was extremely satisfying, and again, it was all block accurate. After tackling that section, I continued with the load-bearing structure on the left, incorporating some dirt, which would be the start of the upper level. Now, as you Minecraft aficionados will know, it is pretty unrealistic that a dripstone cave would spawn this close to the surface, but I felt it was crucial to the look of the build. It would have been much more boring had it just been all dark bluish grey. A quick few gravel blocks later, and it was time to start adding plates and bricks to secure the build. build. This mock ended up requiring over 30 brown 2x4 bricks, which I thought was a lot, but the real kicker was the dark bluish grey 2x2 plate, of which I needed 79. One good thing about Minecraft builds though is that they generally require pretty common colours and pieces, which definitely made this build a lot easier. On top of the last bricks, I laid down some tiles and jumpers to allow for separation of the top and bottom halves, which would allow for easier access and light to the bottom. After that, I moved back to the right side, again utilising sideways building techniques to achieve a 100% smooth look. One of my goals here was for there to be no studs or anti-studs showing at the end, which is why sideways building is so useful. Also, these 2x2 anti-tiles are one of my new favourite pieces. They came in really handy in a lot of places. And after connecting the dirt blocks to the stone pillar, I tiled that side of the build, and then the bottom half was officially done, or bottom 2/3 I should say. The top half consisted mostly of a ton of brown bricks and plates, all stacked strategically to ensure that this would not crumble, while also maintaining the super smooth look. This part was also a little boring, but thankfully it didn't take too long to come together. Now, I admit that there are a few areas on the undersides of the dirt that do have anti-studs, but they're so far up that you literally cannot see them unless you turn the thing upside down. You can see that the dirt blocks kind of cushion the water pillar on either side, which I didn't initially plan, but it ended up being kind of flimsy, though I'm glad how it turned out in the end. We also get to see our first green jumper, which would be a 1-block hole on the front side of the build. We finally get to have some more fun when it came time to add the water to the top, which would be the source of the water falling down to the bottom. Now, I don't know if this strictly adheres to how water flows in the game, but it was more about the vanity of the build and to break up the monotonous greys and browns. With the water in place, it was finally time to add the grass tiles. These were the pieces I needed the most of, with the build requiring a full stack of 64 green 2x2 tiles, most of which actually went to the tree, which you'll see in a minute. Laying down the tiles was extremely satisfying and really helped the build look like Minecraft to me. Maybe it is a bit too flat, but I think it's a nice contrast to the chunkiness of the lower level. I made sure to leave a 2x2 patch near the edge of the grass on the right hand side as well, and this was to add a tree, which I feel is essential to every single Minecraft overworld build. I had intended to go with an oak tree, but after seeing how much brown I was already using, I thought that birch would be the best option, as I hadn't included any white thus far. And I built the leaves off camera, but they all came together in large chunks using some 1x1 green flowers for texture and some trans green bricks for variety. I also took the beehive from the bee cottage set to further spice it up. I actually came back and added some more interior snot bricks to the tree later on, just to further strengthen it, after 1 or 2 falling incidents. But I'm really happy with the overall shape and how it turned out. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't take Cheesy Studios' work as direct inspiration for this, so I am infinitely grateful for his incredible Minecraft world and his amazing videos documenting them. After adding the last 4 sub-builds to the tree, it was time for the finishing touches. This included a couple of poppies to add some colour, as well as plenty of classic grass stems all over the top. I added some vines as well that I built before to add more texture and variety to the lower levels. They also cover up the diamond ore on the stone pillar a little, so they're kind of hidden. A chicken flying on the water and a baby chicken fallen in the 1-block hole at the front also add to the visual interest, as do the bee attached to the tree and a last minute addition of a torch. And then it was time to add the very final touch, the mobs. This included some creepers, some skeletons, some zombies and a slime, all gathered in the dark cave area of the build. And lastly, a fallen player in the water pool at the bottom, a distressed friend at the top, and another player running to their aid at the side. And now you can finally see the whole concept in action. The idea being that the player was galloping along before falling in the surprise ravine, and upon sitting up was greeted by an army of mobs, all while his friends watch from above, unable to help. And I am very, very happy with how this build turned out. It may not be the most ambitious of mocks, but I love how it came together. And I had planned on taking it apart after making this video, but I'm finding myself reluctant to do so now. And this has all been such a fun experience, seeing this go from idea to real build, and I really want to build more LEGO mocks in the future, whether it's Minecraft, Ninjago, Jurassic Park, or something else. So if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more custom LEGO builds from me in the future, leave a like and let me know what you thought of this build down in the comments below. I'd love to hear some suggestions of what you'd like to see next. That's been all for today, folks. Have a great day and see you in the next video.